Hi, my name is Kirtara Aravindan and I am from University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today, my oral presentation is going to be on COVID-19 pandemic-related changes in psychological status and quality of life among older adults in Malaysia. Almost 2 years in, and the COVID-19 pandemic has been nothing less than tumultuous. Accompanying the burgeoning rise of infections are equally severe deterioration of mental health and quality of life among this vulnerable population. Older adults are faced with the double-edged sword of being unable to leave their premise, but also the inability to cope with social isolation. Older adults have been struck with inadequate social interaction, increased challenges in coping with daily life constraints, disruption to their day-to-day routine, inability to attain proper non-COVID-19 related healthcare, social isolation, and have been living in fear, debilitating activities of daily living. Therefore, the aim of this study was to identify potential changes in psychological status and its relationship with quality of life during the COVID-19 pandemic. Participants aged 55 and above residing within Klang Valley were recruited as part of the Malaysian Elders Longitudinal Research or the MALO study between 2013 to 2015 via purposive and convenient sampling from the electoral rolls of Lembah Pantai and Petaling Jaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Follow-up virtual interviews were conducted during the COVID-19 movement control order between September to December 2020. Quality of life was assessed using the 12-item CAS-12 age relevant scale, while anxiety was assessed via DAS-21. The geriatric depression scale consisted of 15 items assessing depression, while perceived stress scale consisted of 4 items to assess stress. Results were analyzed via IBM SPSS version 27, where a basic demographic analysis was conducted prior to a Wilcoxon sign rank test to observe change in item response from baseline. Regression analysis was administered to observe the role of psychological status on quality of life. Moving on to results. Demographic analysis yielded results as shown in the table. Continuous variables are shown in the form of mean and standard deviation, while categorical variables are presented in the form of number and percentage. As you can observe, our participants had a mean age of 73.33 and most were female and of Chinese ethnicity. A majority had no changes in their marital status from baseline, though a very cute few did gain a partner. Most of our participants had at least secondary education. In terms of falls, most of our participants did not experience falls over the past 1 year. Moving on, a quick analysis on changes in quality of life and psychological status from baseline found that 47.2% presented increased depression, 20.9% presented increased anxiety, 27.2% presented increased stress, and 43.2% presented decreased quality of life. In terms of quality of life items response, Wilcoxon sign rank analysis found significant reports of older adults currently feeling more out of control, left out of things, and were more likely to please themselves in what they do compared to the previous wave. Alternatively, older adults were less likely to feel like their life was full of opportunities, feel full of energy, and feel that shortage of money stopped them from doing what they wanted to do. Multivariate analysis conducted via regression found that increased depression levels, increased anxiety levels, and increased stress levels significantly predicted reduction in quality of life from baseline, even after adjusting for confounding factors. Despite reduced quality of life reported among 43.2% of our respondents, the impact of the pandemic on older adult quality of life cannot be denied. Stringent measures enforced by the government to protect older adults whom are part of the vulnerable population left them feeling more out of control, left out, and pleased with what they did. They were also less likely to feel full of energy, life was full of opportunities, and short of money, which makes sense, given the lack of as well as inability to receive social support in this time due to the curb on social activities. Plus, older adults have also reported increased loneliness. No shortage of money faced is possibly due to the inability to spend, but it is worth further exploration. Poor psychological status, which includes depression, stress, and anxiety, undeniably results in poor quality of life among older adults, which is not surprising as research have found longer lockdown periods similar to the one that we are currently facing in Malaysia can exacerbate neuropsychiatric symptoms resulting in behavioral disturbance. Results obtained are most likely due to fear indirectly imposed through the pandemic, especially fear of contracting COVID-19, fear for safety and well-being of next of kin, and fear for the future. Further, from a study conducted in the midst of a pandemic among older population in the UK, a form of helplessness leading to depressive state was implied as older adults expressed concerns of feeling down with no pleasure or purpose to their life. A few also appeared to contemplate if their life was worth living. The severity of such statements cannot be understated. Some also report adverse effects of anxiety, reporting panic attacks and physical manifestations, resulting in the inability to continue with activities of daily living. In conclusion, it is highly important that strategies are developed with mental health as priority to mitigate non-COVID-19 effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, such as impaired quality of life. Thank you. Please feel free to ask questions, or alternatively, you can also email me.